For 700,000 years, the galaxy had known only war. Every star system had battle scars. Planets burned, moons shattered, and fleets vanished into dust. No one remembered how the first war began, only that it never stopped. The great alien empires fought over everything: power, pride, and survival. Each species believed they were right. Each believed they would win, but no one ever did. Generations were born in war and died in war. The Valari Dominion built machines that could erase continents. The Krith Alliance unleashed suns as weapons. The Zath Collective turned entire worlds into living fortresses. Yet despite all the power, the war never ended. It only spread wider and darker. To the people of the galaxy, peace was just an old myth. Children grew up learning about battles instead of dreams. Soldiers prayed not for victory but for a painless death. Even the stars seemed tired of shining over endless destruction. But far beyond the galactic rim, beyond all sensors, all charts and all memories, something ancient was waking up. Humanity. They had disappeared thousands of years ago, erased from galactic records, thought extinct after their final wars. The other species barely remembered their name. Then one day every communication system across the galaxy went silent. Every empire stopped fighting for a moment. A message appeared on every screen, written in a language long forgotten. This war is over. No one understood what it meant, until the scanners detected something massive, approaching from deep, dark space. A single ship, human, and the galaxy held its breath. At first, no one believed it was real. A single ship appearing from deep hyperspace after 700,000 years of war was impossible. But every scanner confirmed it. The signal, the design, the energy readings, all pointed to one word: human. The alien commanders laughed in disbelief. How can one ship end a war that has lasted longer than most stars? They mocked. But their laughter faded when the sensors began to fail, one by one. Radar, shields, weapons, all turned to static. The colossal vessel moved with slow, deliberate power. Its shape was unlike anything seen before. Dark metal that shimmered like liquid, a hull longer than cities, and a silent blue light running across its core. On its side, the old human letters glowed faintly: USS Star Destroyer. Across the galaxy, leaders watched in fear. Empires paused their battles, trying to understand what kind of weapon could make every system go dark just by entering a sector. Then, the ship sent a transmission. The voice was calm, emotionless, and human. 700,000 years. You've learned nothing. This ends now. And then, without firing a single shot, chaos began. Entire fleets powered down. Command systems froze. Planets lost communication. It was as if reality itself bowed before the arrival of the human ship. In the control room of the Valari Dominion, Admiral Zethar stared at his dying screens. He whispered, "What kind of technology is this?" But no one answered. The stars outside his window flickered, one after another, as if afraid of the dark metal giant now drifting between them. The galaxy, for the first time in 700,000 years, felt fear. The first 5 minutes brought silence. No explosions, no battles, only the strange hum of the human ship echoing across empty space. The alien fleets floated helplessly, unable to move or fire. Their systems were frozen, their engines cold, their crews terrified. At minute 6, the USS Star Destroyer began its work. A single pulse of white light spread from its hull, slow, beautiful, and deadly. When the light touched alien ships, they didn't explode. They simply vanished. No debris, no sound, gone like dust in the wind. Commanders screamed orders that no one could follow. Weapons refused to fire. Shields wouldn't rise. Even the artificial suns that powered orbital stations started to dim. By the 15th minute, entire fleets had disappeared. Billions of lives gone in flashes of silence. Admiral Zethar watched in disbelief. "This isn't war," he whispered. "This is judgment." At the 30th minute, the remaining empires united in desperation. They launched everything they had: missiles, drones, plasma cannons. But none of it mattered. Every attack faded before reaching the human ship, like fire against an ocean. At the 45th minute, the galaxy's largest alliance sent their final transmission: "We surrender." But the Star Destroyer gave no reply. Its engines glowed brighter than ever, and one last wave of energy spread through the stars. By the 50th minute, the war that had lasted 700,000 years was over. No one fired another shot. The galaxy was silent. And from the command bridge of the USS Star Destroyer, a quiet human voice spoke at last. War is over. Peace will now begin, one way or another. When the light faded, the galaxy stood still. No one spoke. No ship moved. For the first time in history, the stars looked peaceful, quiet, untouched, almost sacred. The great empires that had ruled for ages were gone. Their fleets were dust, their generals silent, their planets dim. What remained was not victory, but silence. A deep, heavy silence that filled every corner of space. The USS Star Destroyer floated alone among the ruins. Its hull glowed faintly against the broken horizon. The war was over, yet its presence felt like a warning, a reminder of what humanity had become. Across the surviving worlds, beings of every race watched the same message appear on their screens. The same calm human voice spoke again. There will be no more war. You will rebuild in peace and or not at all. Some wept, some cursed, some bowed their heads and accepted, but none dared to resist. Admiral Zethar, one of the few left alive, stood on his damaged bridge, staring at the stars. He whispered, "They ended in minutes what we couldn't end in millennia. What are they?" No one answered. The stars offered no comfort. Days turned into weeks. No new battles began. No ships took flight. For the first time in 700,000 years, the galaxy rested, and far above, the Star Destroyer remained motionless, silent, patient, and watching. Some said it was guarding peace, others said it was judging them still. But deep inside that ship, humanity had already decided peace is not a request. It is the new law. Weeks passed. The galaxy was still quiet, as if afraid to breathe. But one day, new signals appeared, not of war, but of arrival. Dozens of ships emerged from hyperspace. Sleek, silent, and marked with the same glowing insignia. Terran Directorate. Humanity had not sent just one ship. They had sent a fleet. Unlike the Star Destroyer, these vessels did not destroy. They repaired. They restored broken atmospheres, reignited dying suns, and rebuilt shattered orbital stations. Wherever they went, order returned. Aliens who had once feared humans now watched in awe. They expected conquerors, instead they found builders. The humans didn't demand tribute, only cooperation. From one human command station, a message echoed across every channel. We are not your rulers. We are your reminder, and that peace is possible, that survival is earned. On ruined worlds, survivors saw human engineers working beside them. Machines shaped mountains, oceans returned, skies cleared. In one system, a child of the Krith Alliance asked a human officer, "Why did you save us?" The officer smiled softly. "Because once someone saved us too." Slowly, the galaxy began to change. Trade reopened. Old enemies spoke again. Fear became respect. Admiral Zethar watched the humans' progress from a distance. "They could have ruled us," he said quietly. "But instead, they chose to fix what we broke." And in the darkness above, the USS Star Destroyer still waited and silent, glowing faintly, watching every new alliance form. Humanity had returned not as warriors, but as the keepers of peace. Centuries passed. The memory of the war faded into legend. Every school, every world, every species told the same story, of the day humanity returned and ended 700,000 years of destruction in just 50 minutes. The galaxy had changed. Planets once covered in fire now bloomed with forests. Races that once fought for dominance now shared trade routes and technology. For the first time in history, peace had become normal, and above them all, still and silent, drifted the USS Star Destroyer. No one had seen a human crew in generations, yet the ship remained alive, its lights pulsing gently like a heartbeat. Whenever two worlds argued, they looked to the sky, to that shining shape among the stars. It reminded them what would happen if war returned. No one dared test it. Some began to call it the Guardian of the Galaxy. Others whispered that it was no longer a ship, but something more, something watching, protecting, judging. One night, a young alien historian sent a signal into the void. "Humans, are you still out there?" For a long time, there was no answer. Then the Star Destroyer's engines glowed faintly for the first time in centuries. A calm, familiar voice replied, "We are always watching. Keep your peace." And with that, the great ship turned slowly toward the dark edge of space, where new stars were being born. No one knew if it was leaving or preparing for another mission. But one truth echoed across every world. In 50 minutes, humanity changed the galaxy. Forever.